King Charles says he can reduce his treatment for cancer in the new year, and it's because of an early diagnosis. The King spoke about his experience with cancer in a message that just aired on British TV earlier this hour.
This is a season when our thoughts turn to celebrations with our friends and families. In the midst of this festive period, I just wanted to ask you to join me today in finding a special place in your hearts and your minds and prayers for the hundreds of thousands of people across our United Kingdom who receive a cancer diagnosis each year, and for the millions more who love and care for them. I know from my own experience that a cancer diagnosis can feel overwhelming. Yet I also know that early detection is the key that can transform treatment journeys, giving invaluable time to medical teams and to their patients the precious gift of hope. These are gifts we can all help deliver. Throughout my own cancer journey, I've been profoundly moved by what I can only call the community of care that surrounds every cancer patient, the specialists, the nurses, researchers, and volunteers who work tirelessly to save and improve lives. But I have also learned something that troubles me deeply. At least 9 million people in our country are not up to date with the cancer screenings available to them. That is at least 9 million opportunities for early diagnosis being missed. The statistics speak with stark clarity. To take just one example, when bowel cancer is caught at the earliest stage, around 9 in 10 people survive for at least 5 years. When diagnosed late, that falls to just 1 in 10. Early diagnosis quite simply saves lives. Now, I've heard this message repeatedly during my visits to cancer centres across the country. I know, too, what a difference it has made in my own case, enabling me to continue leading a full and active life, even while undergoing treatment. Indeed, today I am able to share with you the good news that thanks to early diagnosis, effective intervention, and adherence to doctors' orders, my own schedule of cancer treatment can be reduced in the new year. This milestone is both a personal blessing and a testimony to the remarkable advances that have been made in cancer care in recent years. Testimony that I hope may give encouragement to the 50% of us who will be diagnosed with the illness at some point in our lives. Yet, too often, I am told people avoid screening because they imagine it may be frightening, embarrassing, or uncomfortable. If and when they do finally take up their invitation, they are glad they took part. A few moments of minor inconvenience are a small price to pay for the reassurance that comes for most people when they are either told they don't need further tests or, for some, are given the chance to enable early detection with the life-saving intervention that can follow. This is why I'm so encouraged to learn about the new national screening checker that is available online. This simple tool allows you to check whether you are eligible for breast, bowel, or cervical cancer screening. It demystifies the process, answers your questions, and guides you towards taking that crucial step. As I have observed before, the darkest moments of illness can be illuminated by the greatest compassion. But compassion must be paired with action. This December, as we gather to reflect on the year past, I pray that we could each pledge, as part of our resolutions for the year ahead, to play our part in helping to catch cancer early. Your life, or the life of someone you love, may depend upon it. Therefore, this brings my most heartfelt thanks to the doctors, nurses, researchers, and charity workers involved in diagnosis and treatment programs, together with my particular good wishes to those for whom they care so selflessly.
And the CBC's Chris Brown joins me now live from our bureau in London. So, Chris, what stands out to you from the King's message?
Well, a very somber message for sure, Andrew, but also I would say a very hopeful one as well. You could see the King was speaking as though he had lived this experience. His words carried a lot of emotion behind them as well. This was something he recorded about 2 weeks ago for a program that's been running here this evening called Stand Up to Cancer. We're hearing lots of testimonials from various cancer survivors. And of course, the King is also a cancer survivor, and that's what he was talking about today. And in fact, the news in his statement, if you will, I think is what people are going to be talking about, that in fact, while he has not beaten cancer, by the sounds of it, he's certainly not going to have the same rigorous treatment regimen because he's doing better. Let's go back and have a listen to what he said.
Today, I am able to share with you the good news that thanks to early diagnosis, effective intervention, and adherence to doctors' orders, my own schedule of cancer treatment can be reduced in the new year. This milestone is both a personal blessing and a testimony to the remarkable advances that have been made in cancer care in recent years.
King Charles is 77 years old. He was diagnosed with cancer back at the end of 2023 or so, but it was publicly announced that he was undergoing cancer treatment in February of 2024. The palace has never said exactly what kind of cancer he was being treated for, but we know that it was discovered when he was in to have a procedure done because of an enlarged prostate. Nor have we actually had very many updates at all on how well he's been doing. He's certainly been active, he's been out there, but he hasn't said a whole lot. In fact, it was only a year ago we really got the closest, Andrew, to an update when someone at a community event asked him how he was doing, and he smiled and laughed and said, well, I'm still alive.
Yeah, Chris, so it is quite unusual, right, to see a sitting monarch address his illness so publicly?
It is. His mother, the Queen, was much more private, and Charles has said he's going to do more, release more information, and the palace has been more forthcoming. Now, notably, they have not said what kind of cancer he's dealing with, and there may be privacy reasons for that, but also the palace has also said the point of this is not to focus exclusively on one kind of cancer, that the King wants to speak about awareness of all kinds of cancer. We know that after his diagnosis, there was a big spike in the number of men in particular who came out to have PSA or prostate-specific tests. So we know that his words and his presence carry a lot of clout, and people listen to what he says. And I think that's obviously what they're hoping for tonight. One of the key messages, I think, and what he said was that there's something like 9 million Britons who could be eligible for things such as early bowel screening, cervical cancer screening, and so forth. And those people are not, they're not taking advantage of that. He said 9 million missed opportunities. So a warning for that, but also, again, a message of hope. He thanked the doctors, he thanked the nurses for getting him to this point, what he called a milestone for his treatment.
Chris, thank you. That is the CBC's Chris Brown live outside Buckingham Palace in London.